Hello friends, my name is Shilpa Kakkar. I'm from M.E. Patel English Medium Secondary and Higher Secondary School. Today we are going to discuss fourth chapter of history. The name of the chapter is Administrative Structure of East India Company in India. Let us see the content and the objective of this chapter. New administrative structure was developed in India. After the Battle of Plassey in 1757, which is considered as the turning point in the history of India, as after 100 years, complete supremacy was established by British in India in 1857 after the revolt. And after that, almost 100 years they ruled over India till 1947. This was the first battle towards establishing supremacy over India. East India Company established new administrative system to control their empire, and especially they started with Bengal. The structure was not much changed in the beginning, but after the Battle of Buxar in 1764, they had taken complete control over Bengal. In order to earn more profit, they started sending more business to England. To earn more profit, they adopted dual administrative system in 1765 after the Battle of Buxar. It was first adopted in Bengal, and due to that, they had a very strong hold over Bengal. Dual administrative system. It was started in 1765 in order to earn maximum profit. In this dual administrative system, Indian employees could work, but they had to work under the British officers. Indian employees had all the responsibilities, but they did not have any rights, whereas British officers had all the rights but no responsibilities. That is why dual administrative system was not at all beneficial to Indians. They fooled Indians because all the work was done by the Indians and the profit was earned and enjoyed by the British. There was heavy exploitation of Bengal during that time. Due to this dual administrative system, the entire economy of Bengal collapsed. Once, Bengal was a very prosperous state. Later on, it became pauper. British dropped dual administrative system in 1772, not because they have not earning profit at that time, but they wanted to earn more profit from other states also. So they came up with Regulating Act in 1773. Regulating Act of 1773 was a new administrative structure began by British Parliament. In this act, there were board of directors of the company who were controlled by the British Parliament. This control was made even more stringent through Pitt's India Act of 1784. In order to have control over this bizarre arrangement, the British government developed different kinds of structures. According to these acts, there were 6 commissioners and the board of directors who were controlling entire structure. This administrative structure actually was controlled by British Parliament from England. The rule of India was given in the hands of Governor General and a council having 3 members. After this act, the company made many changes. Governor General was given special powers. After that, slowly and steadily, the changes came over. These Governor Generals and the Board of Directors with their cabinet ministers from England, they started taking the benefits from different states of India also. One after the other, the charters were passed, the acts were passed, and the changes came up. The Charter Act of 1813 was a new act which brought the company under control of British Parliament completely. The company had a monopoly on trade in India. It came to an end with this, and later on, through parliamentary laws, the company and its administrative structure was brought under the total control of British government. Special councils were introduced. Governor Generals were given much more power than the Indian kings had, and they took the control in their hand completely. The main goal of the British administration was to secure maximum economic benefits and exploit India. As we all know, during that time, Britain and India were quite far. We are talking about approximately 300 years ago, when the transportation facilities were not there. British Parliament was 6,000 miles from India, and it was difficult for the British to rule in India directly from Britain. So, they have set up new rules. New Governor Generals, councils were given supreme power and special powers so that they can rule, they can control the entire India, and they can earn maximum profit from Indians. The Governor General had to rule under the control and direction of the British government only. Their main aim was to gain maximum economic benefits and to exploit India. And for that, they have started with new services. They set up new system. They set up civil services, police services. They set up judiciary in India. In order to have the grip over India and Indians, they set up new things, new structure, so that they can control the entire Indian community under them very properly and very systematically. The inauguration of civil services in India was done by Cornwallis. Cornwallis get the credit of starting civil services in India. In order to better the administrative structure, he freed the employees of the company from carrying on trade. and they were engaged only in administrative work. He brought in tough measures against corruption. He increased the salary of officers of the company in order to avoid corruption. He increased the salary of the collector even by rupees 1500 per month. Along with this, he also developed a special structure of civil services. The officers in the civil services were given promotion on the basis of their work and seniority. A very systematic approach was adopted by British. The people who want to join civil services, they had to take training. So in 1800, Governor General Wellesley established Fort William College for providing training to young British officers who came to India to join Indian civil services. British government started East Indian College in Haileybury in England. The company government took the training of the civil services officers in his own land. The board of directors were appointed and selected through civil services only. These civil servants, after appearing and clearing the examination, got the post. Cornwallis adopted a very systematic way. He wanted to keep Indians firmly under their control, but they wanted them to be away from Indians only. Higher posts and higher salaries in army, police and judiciary were given to British only, not to Indians. Because if Indian gets high post and high salary, they could start revolting against the injustice done by the British in India. So, in order to suppress India, to keep Indians under their control, they never handed any Indian high post. They were never given high salary, and that is why all these things later on became one of the reasons for the revolt of 1857. Police. Police was the most important machinery of the British imperialism. Governor General Cornwallis was responsible for beginning of police system in India. He took away the policing responsibility from the landlords and the guarantees and established a separate police department for maintaining law and order. He modernized traditional Indian system. He even established police stations and appointed a foujdar. Later on, Deputy Superintendent of Police was appointed at the district level police structure. DSP was the highest police officer at the district level. On the higher position, only the British were appointed. Chowkidar was appointed at the village level. The British made maximum use of this police system to crush the Indian freedom movement. From this point of view, it is clearly evident that instead of working for the protection of the public, the police system worked only for securing the interest of the British. The second most important pillar of the British rule in India was army. Army was very important for them because it helped them to control the people. It was made up of Indian soldiers only. They wanted to conquer India by and with the help of Indians only. It not only conquered India by Indians, but it protected India from foreign companies also and from foreign powers who wanted to come to India and establish their trade links, trade posts, and even they wanted to establish colonies in India. But the British drove them out. Those who were there, like Dutch were there in India, Portuguese were there in India, French also, they were also having the trade relations with India, but British drove them out and controlled the entire trades with India under them only. They not only had fought battles with the foreigners, but they crushed the inter-revolts and developed the strong empire in Asia and Africa. Students, in this session, we learnt about the administrative system developed by the British in India. The different administrative systems like civil services, training of the civil servants, army, police are discussed. I hope this will help you out in answering the questions. Rest of the chapter will be discussed in the next session. Bye. Thank you.